Welcome to Both Down, episode 95, the number one Blood Bowl podcast.
From Lubbock, Texas.
Yeehaw, cowboy!
Not quite yet, but it will be.
It will be by the time you listen to this. Probably.
Hopefully not. I mean,
just days away.
It just depends,
yeah. I am Scott Prime, and with me is Steve Kilowoggy Campbell.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
That's a nice howdy.
I'm a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy.
Remember Toy Story? When the shark was in the toy chest and he came out with the hat?
Oh, yeah.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Cowboy.
Yep.
We play Super Show, up at the shop.
Yeah.
Already on the tangent from Blood Bowl, but there is a gentleman named Nick Brewer who's had his own character made, and his name is Lawman Nick. So when he dresses up, he looks just like Woody, and that's what I started calling him when he started calling people out. And I was like,
yeah.
"Why don't you shut up, Woody?" And all this. And now other people start calling him Woody too. So it's kind of funny.
So you run a league, and what you do is make fun of people
who spent at least $500 to create a character. You're dang right I do. It's pro wrestling.
Not disagreeing.
He called me out first.
Yeah, I get it.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well. And yourself?
I'm doing okay.
We're getting an episode out pretty fast.
Yes.
And as a result, it'll probably be a shorter episode, but
that's okay. Yeah. Probably still chocked full of content. Life's starting to kind of go back uphill, after all the valleys.
Yeah. You got yourself a new car?
I got a brand new car.
A brand new car.
First time ever in my life, I got a brand new car, and I'm scared to death to drive it anywhere or to do anything with it or anything like that. So,
yeah, I remember when we got a new couch, and when I was a kid, I think I was probably 9 or 8 or something, and my mom wanted to keep the plastic on it, and I was like, even as a kid, I'm like, this makes no sense. At some point, we're going to get this dirty. Might as well do it now. She didn't like that idea.
I know. Now I understand.
Of course, yeah.
Now I know why my parents really never got new cars until after we were out of the house and everything.
You will enjoy, well, not enjoy. You'll be put more at ease when you get that first scratch on it.
I was over at somebody's house tonight, and they said the same thing. He's like, I remember my new car got that dent in it.
Yep.
He goes, I was scared to death up to that point. And once I got that dent, I was like, okay, it's done.
Yep, it is.
It's like, all right, it's broken.
It's like you've got the shield on in D&D, and then as soon as that's broken, you're like, okay, we're done. I'm out.
So have you done any Blood Bowl stuff lately? Record any World Cup action? You ready for World Cup?
Been recording stuff. Not ready. No.
You're not ready?
I won't be ready.
Have you guys play tested yourself into oblivion where you're kind of sick of Blood Bowl?
Not as much as you would think, but interestingly, I was going back and looking at what I took to Chaos Cup last year.
Uh-huh.
And that was the first tournament that I did my Dust Devil tryouts.
Okay.
And that made me realize that I've been doing this for a year.
You really have been playing the same race for a year?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But I'm not playing it enough. I'm not getting any better. So I don't know what that tells you.
So Steve's saying he's better off by not play testing.
I will probably be doing more play testing next month when I leave my job.
Ooh.
People don't know, probably.
Is this because of World Cup?
Partially, yeah.
And he hates his job.
And I hate my job.
Steve's retiring.
Yeah, I wish.
We're going to make the Blood Bowl podcast weekly. It's going to feature mostly Steve with some recordings of me.
And a lot of ads.
And it might this is kind of like X-Men, I think 77 through 93 or 95, somewhere in there where it was just reprints of the old episodes. We're just going to do some reprints of some old ones. But Steve's going to come up the front, and he's going to talk about things.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Both Down Redo 43.
Both Down Classic. We're going to step back at episode 43.
Man, I wish I could retire. I don't need a lot of money. So if someone would like to sponsor me, maybe a couple $1,000 a month, I will gladly do a podcast on whatever.
If you're an attractive older or younger lady who has money that would just like to sponsor Steve or a dude.
Money spends either way. I had one of the jobs I worked at, there was this really flamboyantly out there gay guy.
Uh-huh.
And he was trying, first day to harass me, just to, give me a hard time. And he made some comment, and I can't remember what it was, but basically, I told him, look, dude, I'm not easy, but I am cheap. And from that moment on, we were best friends.
Oh, that's great.
For the 2 days I worked there.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
you guys got caught like up in a romantic
No,
work thing, and they said you guys either had to break up or one of you has to leave, and you're like, I'm gone.
That was working Red Lobster, and I told them exactly the hours I could work, and they made me work the opposite hours, and they kept spraying the floor and trying to kill me as I walked. So, but no, I'm leaving my job and should be going over to your job, which is under the same contract, so I keep my seniority and everything.
Good luck with all that. That's all I can say.
Yeah. But that way I will have plenty of time to go on the World Cup trip, and I'll get some stuff done around the house and have a vacation. And then...
So you're going into semi-retirement for a brief period.
Well, it's not retirement.
Well, it kind of is. If you don't have a job...
I guess, yeah.
And you're leaving a job...
That's unemployment. It's scary, scary unemployment.
Well, that's pretty risky, but good luck on that.
But luckily, the big deal figures finally got here.
This is a big deal.
It's just...
In a lot of ways.
Finally. The redo...
Should you recap? Go ahead and recap.
Okay. So...
Long intro, it's okay.
Yeah. For Oklahoma Bowl, we did our big deal figure. Looks awesome. Gave the studio plenty of time. And it got stuck in customs. And it came, a week after the Swedes left, I think? Or a week after Pete left.
A week after Pete left. So it was about
3 weeks after the tournament.
Right. And, when you promise stuff like that and then they don't show up, and even though you send the money off and give them plenty of time.
No, it was stuck in customs for a month, so I get that. I'm kind of glad, though, because if they had shown up, say, the day before the tournament, I would have been even more pissed.
Because a lot of them were broken in shipping.
Out of the 100 I got, 61 of them were broken in shipping. And none of them were the figures are one piece, but there's a case with a sticker. None of the bases or the figures were in the cases. The stickers were not even cut out. So that was a hassle, and it took some finagling, but then I got all the ones remade, and they came just this last week. I was putting them in cases today and cutting out the stickers, and I have to go through and put 100 stickers on 100 cases. And, so I can finally get them to people who are going. So if anyone listening, and I'm going to be sending out an email, but if anyone listening is owed one from Oklahoma Bowl and is going to Chaos Cup or Lubbock tournaments, let me know, and I'm going to bring them to you.
That's cool.
And then once I'm sure that everyone there has them, I'll be selling the figure. I'm going to be doing like a pack for the figure, the dice, the tokens.
That's cool.
Everything.
Like a Oklahoma Bowl 8-pack or something.
Yeah, for like $40. And then once I get all of those sold, I have the broken ones that I can sell.
Okay, that's neat.
But
it's a really cool figure.
Oh, it's a great looking figure. It really, really is.
I'm glad we finally got those, many, many moons later. But hey, they gave it to us. They did fix the problem. So, we move on.
Yep.
That's neat, though. So what Blood Bowl goodness are we going to talk about today?
Let's see. We have our finally getting to Blood Bowl Magazine 3. Not the Spike magazine, but actual Blood Bowl magazine from 2002 or so.
And then we'll talk about, this is going to be the last podcast until we go up to Chaos Cup and to Matador Melee.
Yep.
Over in Lubbock, Texas. They're running their first tournament ever, I guess, at Stormcrow Games. We're traveling out that way. We wanted to support Dustin and John. Dustin does a lot of stuff for Oklahoma Bowl, so we're headed that way. We wanted to talk about what we're taking and maybe the rule set, and just kind of go over that a little bit and see what you guys think about that.
And the same for Chaos Cup. So it's essentially 2 segments this time, and then
we got shout-outs.
Yeah, we'll do shout-outs.
Kind of like a third segment.
Sure.
And we have a contest winner.
Yeah, we do.
And I know you didn't think we were ever going to answer the contest, but we do have that. We can do that in shout-outs too.
Sure, we can do that.
So, anything else you want to cover and joyous Blood Bowl stuff?
Is there anything else?
Yeah, go ahead. I bought a Dwarf Skaven pitch today. Today.
Really?
Yes.
Cool. Why?
I think it's like the Blood Bowl guy in me was like, what if things sold out and they never come back? Maybe I should get some of these things.
It's starting to happen on Forge World. The Pride Crusaders kit is listed as sold out, and then the Orkland Raiders is being listed as almost sold out. So yeah, I keep thinking
there's a local shop that had one, and I had the extra $40 today, and I was like, I'm here, I'll get it.
I keep thinking I need to get the rest of the cheerleaders, but they're just so damn expensive.
Well, I don't know why you would, because you're at least not going to use those.
I'm not going to use anything I got. I mean,
I have a fantasy of like really using these pitches someday for some tournament where like you get set at that tournament and that's like some special event or something.
Fair enough.
I don't know if it'll ever happen.
Probably not. It is nice to have, and if we didn't have all the other pitches, sure.
Yeah, right. All right.
But yeah, if anyone is needing any Blood Bowl stuff, I do have some almanac and
you're
dice and stuff. I got plenty of stuff.
But. All right. Well, we're gonna get to a nice, juicy, fluffy segment, and then a nice, juicy tournament segment for you guys. So, take a quick break and come right back.
Both Down is brought to you by Wizards Asylum, your premier source for comics and games in Norman, Oklahoma. Check them out online at their new home, wizardsnorman.com.
We're back, and we're discussing Blood Bowl Magazine 3 from somewhere around 2002. It doesn't have an exact date on it, but it does state it's 18 months later from the previous one.
Well, it does consider that these rules are considered in the 2003 Rules Review Pack.
Yeah. So it says copyrights back in 2002. Further on, it mentions calendar August 2002, so this had to have been summer of 2002. Somewhere around there.
Has a picture of Nabla Blackwort on the cover.
Yeah. I used to know who did those. I can't remember the guy's name.
I used to know too, and I can't. His style is very distinct.
Yeah.
And stands out.
He just had some original stuff go on eBay a while back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like
Did you get any?
Oh, Lord, no. No, they were way beyond my price range. Way beyond.
Inside, on the front cover, the inside cover, is the Kimry team. And it tells you who sculpted it.
Phil Bowen.
Who painted it.
I don't know.
Steve Green.
Okay.
And then it talks about what colors and how they got this effect. And what I find interesting about that is they don't tell us who sculpts anything. And they don't tell us who paints anything.
Yeah. I was thinking about that a while back, is we don't know who sculpted any of the new stuff. I was looking through, and you can find... Like, when I was going through this magazine, I actually made a spreadsheet of every time they mentioned someone sculpted something, just to kind of see. And, yeah, they pretty much always mention who sculpted it.
It's just different times, I guess.
Yeah. And again, back here, this magazine is not like the new ones. It's not all in fluff. They have some fluff stuff, but it's the company talking to us as consumers, saying, this is new, these are the new rules, it's a whole different tone.
For sure.
Yeah.
I noticed here on page 1, the table of contents, they talk about how Andy's going to help out now. It's not just Jervis. And they need more people. And so why was this 18 months after? They just got so busy and overwhelmed?
I think it was the previous two are much bigger.
For sure. This one's definitely thinner in comparison.
So I think it was one of those budget downsizing things where they're like, it's doing fine, but it's just costing too much. So they probably put it on the back burner for a while, and then redid it as like there was enough demand to do it.
Well, they mentioned Andy Hall.
Yeah.
He's one of the authors in the Blood Bowl book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Andy's been doing stuff forever.
All right. And then they also mentioned that they just had the release of the Camry team, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, this is the debut of the Camry team. So it actually goes into, there's an article, Dem Bones, Dem Dry Bones, which is the experimental rules for undead teams by Mr. Jervis Johnson himself. And it brings up the 3 types of undead teams, actually, the original names, Necromantic Undead, Camry Undead, and Vampire Undead.
Necromantic Undead.
Vampire Undead? Come on. Camry is the name of the land, a.k.a. Land of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. It does mention ancient Blood Bowl pitches, which still seems odd.
What's that?
Well, it's basically saying in the Fluff of the universe, Blood Bowl was played in ancient times of Egypt. Not like NFL, not the football. It's just, and this was brought up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not like if our future is the old world future.
Yeah.
Like many people theorize.
Yeah.
You're saying that the Egyptians are playing some type of blood sport.
Essentially, yes. And that's odd to me.
Yeah.
But they are coached by Leech. Is it Leech? It's Lich. Why am I saying Leech? They're coached by Lich Priests.
Mike Leach.
Yeah. I think that's what I was doing. They're coached by Mike Leach.
Yes, a Lich Priest, I guess, is like the guy who magically controls these guys.
Which makes sense from a Fluffy point of view.
Sure. This is back when you could get 0 to 4 mummies, 3, 5, 1, 9 with Mighty Blow and Regenerate.
Yeah.
A lot better than that Decay.
Oh, yeah. And I remember when we first started playing in the home league, 2001?
No, it wasn't that early.
Oh, let me think.
Get out of here, Steve.
This is 2001.
It was about 2007, I believe.
Something like that. But it was right at the cusp of the new rules taking over, and you wanted to play a Camry team.
But I was too scared they were going to change the rules, and then that would invalidate maybe any possible wins I had, and I didn't want you guys to give me a hard time.
Which they absolutely changed the rules.
They changed them. I still played them once that was done.
Yeah.
Still won a championship with them.
Yeah.
Just by a little luck, but
they're still a good team.
They're still pretty dang good.
And they would be so much better if they had Mighty Blow and Regen. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge difference. But if I remember correctly, I think Ken Washington won Chaos Cup once or twice with them. I know at least once.
Yeah.
And maybe even Spike or something. I thought he had some majors under his belt playing his team. I think they were called the Desert Kings at the time. And I'm assuming it was under these rules.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Another interesting thing is they do have Blitz Raws and Throw Raws. Blitz Raws are god of strength and speed. Throw Raw, god of keen eyesight and accuracy. But their power comes from the helmets they have.
Oh, interesting.
So in the old models, they actually have different types of helmets. So it makes sense.
The Blitzers are kind of like the alligator-looking head, like skull head, and then the throwers have the eagle head.
Yeah.
Or vulture or whatever it is.
But they also have the big, tall hats. So.
Oh.
And then the Blitz Raws have the dome short hats.
Hats? Those are
helmets.
Same thing.
Well, yes, what I'm saying.
So we're talking about the same thing.
Well, yes, but I'm saying that you were saying their skulls were different. I'm saying the actual helmets are different as well.
Oh, okay. I'm calling them skulls. You're calling them helmets. I got you.
Well, no, they have different skulls too, because one is bird and one is a crocodile. They have helmets on top of those skulls.
Okay. Well, the models don't have the helmets that attach to those skulls, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, they don't, do they? Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you're kind of an idiot sometimes. It's okay.
Huh.
You have so many Kimry teams. I can't fault you for getting all your models mixed
I
up.
only have one Kimry team.
Oh, see, I was trying to help you out here, but
No, I'm trying to think. You're right.
yeah, they have those.
That is interesting. It mentions that power comes from the helmets, but they don't have helmets.
Maybe it's the same, the embodiment of a helmet or whatever. But
Okay.
I still like the fluff.
Yeah.
I like the fact that back then the Blitz Raws for 90K were 6-3-3-7
Yeah.
regenerate block,
That's a big difference.
and then the throwers were 5-3-3-7 regenerate sure hands pass.
Jeez.
So for 90K,
So much better team.
I would take a 3 agility Blitz Raw with 1 less armor any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. And your sure hands throw raw has 3 agility now?
Mm-hmm. I take that for some 80K.
Oh, yeah. I prefer the new team, but
Can I have this one? Just
no,
me?
No. Interestingly enough, they could not use wizards.
That's because the Lich King or Lich Prince, Priest,
Yeah.
whatever Prince, he was the magic guy in town. He was not going to have any other magician around.
Yeah, but when wizards are kind of an integral part of the game back then,
Well, yeah, but still,
it was just interesting.
they had 4 mummies, dude.
Yeah. You didn't need anything more than that. Then they go into Necromantic Undead, which introduces the flesh golems
Did you notice the skeletons are 30K instead of 40K
for the Tomb Kings or the
for the Kimry?
Camry. No, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, they're 30K.
Huh.
So they're 5-3-2-7 with regenerate for 30K.
Yeah, that's a
30K.
much better team all around.
If I could go back in time,
Yeah.
play me some
If I
Kimry.
could turn back
I'm sure
time.
everybody's playing Kimry back then, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Necro, they interestingly enough do not have skeletons. They only have zombies.
All right, hold on. Let me catch up with you.
Okay.
Oh, they do. They only have zombies, ghouls, whites, flesh golems, and a werewolf. But you can only get one.
Mm-hmm. I kind of prefer them only having access to one.
One werewolf?
Yeah. 2 werewolves is really good. I'm not.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Right.
2 werewolves are really good. You said interesting enough they can only get zombies. A real necro team only can now. What are they called? They're not shambling. The shambling
Shambling
undead can choose between skeletons and
Oh,
zombies.
that's right. I forgot.
But the necromantic team, whatever its fancy new name is, which I can't even remember.
Necromantic Undead, I think.
Okay.
I think they went back to this.
Okay. They can only get zombies.
You're right. I don't play them enough to remember that.
Zombies are also only 30K at this time.
Are they 40K now?
Yeah, they're 40K now.
The only thing that's 30... So what is it? Snotlings are 20. Halflings are 30.
Uh-huh.
And then the lowest base lineman outside of Stunty is 40.
To my knowledge. Just
Makes
thinking
sense.
right off my head. Thralls are even 40, so.
Yeah.
Golly, zombies for 30K, though?
They do have a nice little did you know. Tom O'Landry resurrected the Middenheim Maulers of Blood Bowl 5 to win Blood Bowl 6 after they had a flying carpet accident.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think the next up we have Pick and Mix, which is experimental rules for allies and mixed race teams.
I like it.
Okay.
I've always hated and enjoyed mixed race teams. I'm not really hated. It's like a strong word. I feel like young Scott thought the idea of a mixed race team was really cool,
Yeah.
but he also didn't want every team to be a mixed race team because then they're not as unique and cool as
Yeah, then everything is just kind of a
Right.
hodgepodge of crap.
right.
Yeah. No, I get that. And
Even though, like, when Dungeon Bowl came around, I was so excited because every team was a mixed race team, and I was like, "Yay! This
yeah,
gives
but
me
that was a whole different...
gives me an excuse to play all these different races,
Yeah.
without coming up with an excuse to play all the mixed race teams."
Makes sense. It mentions Magnus the Piles, which has to be a reference to something. I don't know. 2499 created Old World Warlords. They're made of human, halflings, dwarves, and elves. So the way it worked, you'd have a base roster with and then a list of allied races and a list of big guys.
Right. And I think you rolled randomly, if I remember right, to see like what you could get.
Really?
Well, maybe I'm thinking of second edition rules.
Okay.
Here.
So the base roster lineman spots were 0 to 12 of one, and the other is 0 to 4. Then your allied races, you could buy 2 linemen from race or 1 positional.
So I believe in second edition they had rules for like what you had is your main race, your secondary race, and your tertiary race.
Okay.
And you could roll and you could get like 1 to 2 of the tertiary race and stuff like that. So I think that's where I'm getting that. What I find interesting is like, you have 3 options here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already say that you had the Lustrian option?
No, I didn't go into the option
yet.
Get to it. I was just breaking down the base rosters with the linemen, then the allied, and then you have big guys, which are normal rules and can't use a reroll.
Okay.
So if you want to, you can break down what the actual rosters are.
Well, let's go. Chaos Pack teams. So these are what you think would be like the normal Chaos Pack teams of today. You have Chaos Marauders. They're 50K with 6, 3, 3, 7. But they also come with block.
Yeah.
How different Chaos Pack teams would be.
Oh, Lord, yes.
They also come with 4 Chaos Beastmen, 0 to 4. 60K, 6, 3, 3, 8 with horns. And their allied races could be Orc, Skaven, Dark Elf, Goblin, Chaos, Norse, and their big guys could be a Minotaur, Ogre, Troll.
And their rerolls were 90K.
90K.
That's crazy.
Really crazy.
But yeah, that's basically where Chaos Pack came from.
The old world teams. So this was like the Champions of Law. This is the good version of your Chaos Pack. You could get 0 to 12 human linemen for 50K. Nothing's changed there. 6, 3, 3, 8. You can get 4 dwarf longbeards. They're 70K. 4, 3, 2, 9. Block, tackle, thick skull. Their rerolls are 80K. Guess they really wanted to, send home like these guys shouldn't get along too well.
That's how they based
teamwork.
The prices of rerolls back then. Is really just on how well the team works together.
Which really, that's what it's always supposed to represent.
Yeah.
It's just like camaraderie, how well we're going to work together as a team.
And that's how they justify dwarves being 50K. When really, come on, screw them.
Dwarves get along great.
They do, but they're so damn cheap.
Allied races for the old world teams is human, dwarf, high elf, halfling, and wood elves.
Then your big guys are ogre and tree man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about, I've had the Bright Crusaders kit from the Forge World.
Why would you open those now that they're going to be out of print?
Well, I bought a lot from someone.
Okay.
And I bought it because he had that, and was it the Orkland Raiders kit?
Okay.
With the base set. So I got both. They're already opened.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to think of a way to use them. Since, there's only 11, I don't really want to buy another case. So I thought about doing a Champions of Law team.
There you go.
So then I could use the ogre and a tree man. And the ogre would be basically a Chaos Pact version of it.
Right.
And so my
ogre would be the
Marauders would be my, Pride Crusaders. Yeah, the ogre would be the ogre. The tree man would be the troll. And then for the minnow, I can use my unicorn.
Yeah.
But I wanted to use all new edition figures.
Except for the Minotaur.
I'm sure as hell not paying $70 for a damn tree man.
Well, you could.
So,
I mean, you're going to...
I'll figure something out.
Aren't you going to go to... When you go on your World Cup trip, aren't you stopping in England?
No.
Not at all?
No. No, it would have been nice, but no, we're just flying into Frankfurt. At one point.
In the early stages of this, that was talked about. Okay.
In the early stages, when we had grand designs of gallivanting around.
Right, backpacking across Europe with your other little friends.
So instead of doing that, we're kind of just
smoking weed,
going to Austria,
just hooking up with chicks,
then going to Italy, and then coming back.
Doing some drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're not doing any of that now?
No, we'll still do the chicks and the drugs.
Okay, so backpacking?
Basically.
Okay.
My plan is to take a backpack and not much more.
Right.
And then ship stuff to...
Just the clothes on your back?
No. I have a backpack full of clothes.
That's where your weed is.
Oh.
And your condoms for the chicks.
I think you can buy both over there.
Okay.
You can buy all three over there. Dun, dun. Yeah.
Back to the magazine. Lustrian teams.
70K rerolls.
They do have 70K rerolls. They're the team that will work together the most.
Which makes sense.
Amazon Line Women, 50K 6337 Dodge. And then Lizardmen Skink, 60K 8237 Dodge and Stunty. So none of that's changed really.
No, not really.
And their allied races would be other Amazon positionals, the Lizardmen, Norse, and then the Croxagore and the Ogre. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Because the Norse went to Lustria, founded it, and yeah. So I really like that.
Yeah, these are kind of fun, actually.
It does say that, unfortunately, the Allies failed to make the cut for the 2001 Blood Bowl Rules Committee. So these were a way to sort of bring them back.
Yeah, these were to give everybody the knowledge and then say you decide if you want to use them or not.
Yeah. We do have a shout out for
I love that there's, we can't go a Blood Bowl podcast without talking about Pete Nifson's art.
Sure.
It's all throughout here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the old second edition stuff's throughout here.
Well, this is 4th edition.
I know.
Oh, second edition stuff. Yeah, that's what
second edition art is throughout all of this.
Milo Sharp does get a shout out, says he's part of the World Cup committee, so I just want to bring it up. He came up with the idea of taking positional, but others had to be linemen. So I thought that was kind of neat. He's still in the game.
Oh, for these rules.
He came up with part of the rules, but he's also part of the Blood Bowl World Cup committee in Austria.
All right. Well, then I have many questions for you, Mr. Sharp. That
we could get him on. We were going to get him on for the World Cup report, but just been busy.
I'm glad everybody, and I wish at times my life was different, just long enough for me to go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what, I don't want to play in that tournament. Based on the rule sets, I don't want to play in that tournament.
I get it.
But other than that, yeah, it sounds like a fabulous trip, and it will be. You guys will have an amazing time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or die trying.
You're going to come back with something.
Yeah, I mentioned something about dying on the trip, and to Phil Bonerack, and he's like, "You can't die. At least, not when Scott can get to your stuff before I can."
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'll have Phil arrested.
Yeah.
There's many things that, like, if I die first, you're gonna have to step in and not be greedy and really help sell like my good stuff. And then you can probably take some of the Blood Bowl stuff and payment for it. But anyways, I shouldn't even get into this because like lately I've been like,
We'll say, sadly, I had that real conversation with someone recently, and it's not fun.
I have too. I had that with Jennifer about like, if I die, I have one of these in my comic collection, so don't sell it for like $1 at a garage sale.
I had it with our buddy Brian, who's going through stage 4 cancer.
Oh.
So it was.
Oh, with him and his stuff?
It was like a legit conversation about it.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have stuff that's valuable, let someone know that when you die, someone needs to sell them for the right amount.
Well, you're never going to get full value for a Blood Bowl team. Or
you never
get
full value for anything.
But you got to at least be patient enough to find somebody who desires it so they're going to give you a fair value.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Next, we come to an interesting little thing called The Fans Are on the Pitch. They're fun house rules by Carl and Matt Brown. And this is essentially, it's replacing the handicap table roll with a crowd roll.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day, you would have your handicap, and then you roll on the table to see what type of inducements you get. You didn't have a set amount.
You brought your team of 1 million gold pieces, and I had a team of 1.2 million gold pieces. Mm-hmm. And then we look on this chart, and it might say, oh, you deserve 3 rolls because you're at a handicap.
Yeah.
You're not as good as so-and-so's team. And you'd randomly roll what they are. And it could be like, oh, I got a bribe. And then your next roll is, oh, cool, I got a wizard. And the next one could be like, oh, man, I got another bribe.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't foul, and yet I got 2 random bribes.
Everything was random back then.
It was a pretty big chart from what I remember.
Yeah.
And we only used it a few times during that period, but it's kind of, in some ways it was kind of neat because it took out you second guessing yourself on what to pick.
For sure.
So
yeah, you didn't have to worry about that. So the options are option 1, you replace a handicap table roll with a crowd roll. Option 2, both coaches get 1, or even at the start of the half. Not sure, just kind of depending, however you want to do it. And then option 3 was have a lot more. So it's basically allowing you to choose how crazy
how
you
these
wanted
went into the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you could use this as a replacement for the handicap. You can use it just to add a little bit of variety to the game, or you can use it to have a batshit crazy game.
Well, it is Blood Bowl. I mean,
exactly. So we'll go through these. There's 2 to 12 like a regular kickoff table.
So to clarify, these go. You believe that these rolls happen right at kickoff?
I believe so. It doesn't flat out state that it's at kickoffs, but it has to be.
All right. Well,
it's kind of weird.
Let's just read through these things, and I'm sure we'll figure out where they kind of fit in.
Sure.
All right, Steve. So I'm kind of curious about these events, but at the same time, there's 6 pages that we could read out loud, or you've broken these down to simple things. So I'm going to give you the number.
Okay.
And then you're going to tell me the simple version of what it is.
Sounds good.
Ready?
Sure.
Number 2, into the crowd.
Basically, you roll a d6 for each player. On a 1, they go into the crowd and teach them a lesson. So
the fans are rowdy. They're heckling them. They've had enough of their crap.
So they go into the reserves for that drive.
To represent them going in the crowd and beating them up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 3, ejected.
Essentially, this one's basically as if a streaker comes onto the field, and then the officials take him down, and then the officials are too busy for the drive. So for that drive, the refs are gone.
Get the ref?
Well, you don't get a bribe, so
okay,
it distracts the ref.
All right. Number 4 is autograph hunter.
So a fan goes onto the field to hound the favorite player. You place a figure in the tackle zone to follow them. That player is -1 strength and agility and can't use skills. You get rid of him by signing something, which is an agility roll. It's so fucking crazy. Agility roll equals 1 for opposing tackle zones, and you get a bonus reroll. On a 1, they sign a contract with the opposing team by accident. So essentially, you got to do an agility roll to get away from them.
And if you roll it and you roll a 1,
yeah, they sign a contract with the opposing team by accident, and I think you go to the opposing team.
Good Lord.
It's so weird. You could also punch their lights out. You hit and roll injury. If you get doubles, the treated as a 0. If you get doubles, your fan factor is treated as 0, and it's permanent -1 after the game.
Oh.
So you piss off the fans.
Oh. Number 5, cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders go on the field. They cannot hold the ball, but can do other stuff.
They're cheerleaders, dude.
And then they can be casualtied or killed.
Okay.
Which I guess is perfectly fine if you kill the cheerleaders.
Number 6, the mascot, which I'm assuming is the same thing.
Kind of. You put the mascot in the end zone. You casualty it, not push it off, and you get a reroll. If the mascot is casualtied, that team has fan factor treated as 0.
Nice. 7, match ball collector. This is Steve if balls were pops.
A collector comes on to steal the ball and tries to make off with it. If they do, you re-kick off as before, and now every kick has a throw a rock because the crowd is annoyed and not afraid of Blood Bowl players.
Number 8, streaker.
Yeah, so this one, your streaker actually stays on the field and runs around. Whoever's half he's in can't use rerolls. He can be injured to send off. It ends at the end of the drive.
So how do you move him randomly through the scatter template, I'm assuming?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'd have to go into the 5 pages of text to figure it out.
All right. Number 9, hot dogs.
Moves like a ball and chain, no blocking. And at the end of the move, roll d6. On a 1, he leaves the field, the hot dog vendor, because he's out of dogs.
Okay.
Move by the coach who just finished the move, or his turn. Any player, except the ball carrier, who's adjacent, can't do anything but eat. May use a reroll to counteract the influence. So essentially, this is kind of like the Handmobile that I did, where he's just
A
causing...
spiky cup.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just annoying.
Number 10, the reporter.
A random team has a random player interviewed. They can't do anything. No tackle zones. They can try to wrap up the interview by an agility roll, or you can just punch them. Can play as normal next turn. Punch is looked down upon, and team loses 1 fan factor permanently.
All right. Number 11, groupies.
The player with the most star player points on the field is surrounded. Groupie models fill all available adjacent spaces. You roll a d6. You subtract its strength minus the roll equals how many groupies leave. At the end of the turn, one leaves no matter what.
So they go and distract this guy for a couple of plays. It's kind of neat.
Which is just weird.
Typical GW by saying, like, you need some groupie models.
And yet we never sold them. So
we didn't sell them. You can get them at Forge World for $40 a piece.
To be fair, you get a pack of 3 for $65.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Number 12, team photo.
The team with the lowest team rating may completely reset the opposing team in any way they desire, as long as it's legal and each player is at least 1 square away from each other.
I love this. Excuse me, guys. We need a team photo real quick. We're trying to play a game. No. We just need a quick photo really quick. And Mr. Overwald, can you move over here? Yeah, Mr. Zuck, can you go scoot back 1 step, tilt your glasses, blah, blah, blah. I like this. So you get to set them up. I'm feeling a spiky cup here, Steve, where some of these can get altered to fit in today's rules.
There are some of these that are almost exactly like the stuff I've used before, which is interesting.
I'm starting to like this.
So in addition to all this stuff, you have fan fatalities. When going into the crowd, a player rolls a d6 and adds their strength. That's how many fans they killed. If you're holding a weapon, you roll 2d6 plus strength. It's nothing extra, it's just some fun stat taking. But you know how we see on the cards about how many fans someone's killed? That's how you do it. You can do ref fatalities. When a player is sent off, you roll a d6. On a 6, they have, quote-unquote, have words with, ref, and ends his career. The ref gets replaced in the game. Again, it's just for fun.
Interesting.
They do give you an idea of how to make some fan models, so that's pretty neat.
No, I did like that, actually. Seeing that part, it really makes me... They're not going to. But, like, when those Spike magazines come out, you could have a page in there, or they could just release, like, a digital file of, hey, we're coming out with the Wood Elves, and if you'd like some coaching staff, you could do this. We suggest this model from the Age of Sigmar line, and you could alter it with this, and
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they did that a lot back then.
Yeah.
How
kind of cross-promote the different lines.
And you never know if you plant that seed with somebody else who grabs a Age of Sigmar model or a 40K model, and they get into both. Or really... They just go into the 40K, which they want you to do. They'll make more money. Right.
As much as we complain about prices for Blood Bowl. Ooh.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why they don't do some of that. Maybe they don't need to, but I think some people would actually enjoy the suggestions.
Absolutely.
So,
but again, that would kind of break the fourth wall of what they're doing now. Because they're keeping everything so much in universe that they don't even mention. It's so weird. I don't know.
All right.
Then we get to the Coach's Corner.
So, we got Coach's Corners on page 20 of the magazine. And this is just letters, right? Is it?
Yeah. There's one guy, Jarkko Suvanen from Sweden. He tells about his 20-something player group there's over 20 players in his group, but nobody plays dwarves because they suck. But he gives an idea of a runesmith instead of their alchemist, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. So they couldn't do wizards; they had an alchemist.
Mm-hmm. And this guy gave some additional, like a runesmith instead.
That's kind of cool.
That was interesting little stuff.
I wonder if Jarko is friends with, Anders and
Any of the Swedes we know?
Yeah.
Maybe. Never know. Let's see. Then we got an interview with Griff by Jock Strap.
Oh, did he come from Slurpcast?
No, this is before then. But yeah,
I know, but didn't that sound very much like a Slurpcast thing?
It does, yeah.
We got an interview later today with Jock Strap. And then Extreme would be like, oh, sounds fine.
We've got the popular Ask Lord Borak.
Yeah.
Then there's last words of some reporters, which is basically just...
This is more fluff. It reminds me of the fancy deaths that they have in the Spike magazine. What is it called? Grave Call or whatever it's called.
We should know.
Call Out Your Dead. I don't know what it's called.
I don't remember.
I know. We've only
talked about every single one of them.
Right.
Multiple.
Every time.
Coffin corner.
Coffin corner. There
Yeah,
you go.
because it's like a coffin kick in the corner. Okay.
Anyways,
And
that's
then,
what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
So.
And the back cover is just a joke halfling magazine called Exploded.
But it's awesome. It's awesome. They have a female who's not super thin. I'm just saying she's not a typical...
She's not someone you'd expect. She's not the...
She looks kind of like a halfling cheerleader would look. She's thick.
That sounds mean, but
no, it's not mean. She's not ugly. I'm just saying that she's not like...
Sure. No, I think it's one of the staff from the magazine, probably.
Oh, well, still, it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm saying it works really well. Is what I'm trying to get. I really mean to give like props because they could have easily got some tiny little thin girl.
Oh, sure.
Ultra thin
Pay
girl.
him $20 and put on this sexy costume, yeah.
Right. It's not a typical cosplayer.
Yeah.
But it actually is more of a cosplay because this fits like halflings even better.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I don't feel like it's the white trash, crazy, greedy halflings.
No, not at all.
But we can argue about that later. But anyways, I think it's really cool. It also has Big Jobo Harryfoot is mentioned on the cover of that magazine. Uh-huh.
Huh, that's cool.
I wish this was a real magazine. When I first saw this, I was like, this would be awesome if this was real.
I wonder if we're missing a pun on the name or something.
Exploded?
Yeah, like if it's a reference to some British magazine.
It could. I mean, yeah. It could
Maybe
be,
it's like Exposed or...
I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know either on that. And then the back just has table of contents kind of again. Just talks about what's in here and shows some models. Pretty basic.
It's a fun little magazine.
It is. And again, on the back, it shows the models of a Kimry team.
Yeah.
Playing a dwarf team. While in the inside cover was a Kimry team playing a wood elf team. What's interesting is you will never, ever see a picture like this again in any type of GW thing. Because notice how the models aren't flocked in the back picture on the dwarf team.
Oh, wow. They're not. Yeah.
And in the inside cover, the wood elves are not flocked. They're bases. GW would never publish anything like that again.
No.
Because they want the best model look from the best angle.
But it does make the Kimry team stand out.
It does.
Maybe that's the reason, but...
No, I think it was just people on staff and they put this together. Anyways, I just think it's cool.
Well, that's issue 3. It's a much smaller magazine now. Still fun. It's
fun. I still think, for the most part, the new Spike magazines have just as much good fluffiness to them.
Oh, for sure.
If you like experimental rules, these are really cool too, though.
Yeah, that kickoff table is better than what we gave it credit for because, like I said, there is a lot there.
Oh, yeah. I think it helps that there's a lot of familiar art in these. It feels so much tinier, though, compared to those first two.
Mm-hmm. But it's $3.50.
$3.50? Is that three?
No, we pay $15 now for a magazine.
Well,
Ugh.
times have changed. I mean, Steve, this is a lot less pages. This is 24 pages.
Yeah. It's also less quality and all that. I get it, but...
Well, that's because they're not reusing a bunch of art now.
Well, yeah. Anyways,
this is pretty cool. I can't believe you only have one copy of these, Steve.
why would I have more? I don't need more.
You have copies of everything else in Blood Bowl.
I don't usually have duplicates of stuff.
Dude.
What?
How many orc teams do you have right now?
Well, that's different.
How many?
I don't have any duplicates of the orc teams, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, starter sets. That's different. Because they came with the box.
You need to have 2 copies of every one of these magazines.
There's no
It's your
need.
job.
There's no
All I
need.
gotta do is hold out till you die, and then my Blood Bowl collection goes up
Oh, okay.
really huge.
Well, this is true, yeah.
So you're gonna have to come fight me, Phil, if you want Steve's Blood Bowl collection.
Round 1.
I'll get all my artwork back that Steve has in his studio.
That's true, yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, we're back. We're going to talk about some tournaments. First off is Matador Melee in Lubbock, Texas.
Yeehaw!
August 17th.
Wait, that's not what a matador does he?
Ole.
He goes, yeah. Ole. Toro. Or something like that. Is that wrong?
Yeah, Toro.
Does Toro mean bull?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, that's pretty sure. Let's look. Toro means bull.
Okay.
Like, I was like, there's no
That makes
reason it's not, but
No, I know, but like, what if we were wrong?
yeah, it would have been bad.
So, it's Matador Melee.
Yeah.
So you asked me, where does that name come from? Since we're going to Lubbock, Texas, and I asked Dustin Parsons, who's, as we mentioned before, always helps us in Oklahoma Bowl.
Isn't John running it?
John's actually running it. Dustin's helping.
Why didn't you ask John?
Well, I don't know because Dustin, I guess, was talking to me, and
So you don't like John, is what we're hearing.
pretty much I don't like John.
Okay.
He said it was based off the rabid fans for the Texas Tech Red Raiders,
Okay.
and that's where we got the Melee and Matador and stuff like that, I guess.
Do they dress up as bullfighters?
I don't know.
Huh.
I didn't really go into that.
Okay.
It made me think, like, why isn't this called, like, Raider Rally? But then again, I'm thinking, like, shut up, dude. It's not your tournament.
Yeah, I like Raider Rally, though.
You don't have to, like, organize anything.
I know.
You just get to go and enjoy.
Yeah.
So I just thought, okay, fine.
It's nice to go to a tournament like that.
So this is a tournament with 1.1 million build, and you get 150 in additional skills.
If you heard a noise, I just knocked my mouse off the computer desk. But
Yeah, that's really crazy.
if you didn't hear a noise, I didn't do that.
Right. Because that would be really lame.
Yeah.
It's 1.1 million build plus 105K in skills. You can take fan favorite for 20K on one person.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot stack skills, and you can only take the same skill 3 times, up to 3 times.
Right.
So only 3 blocks or 3 guards or something like that. Fan factor is a big deal in this
You
tournament.
can stack skills, by the way. You may not assign more than 2 skills to any single player.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
You said that, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Let me go look at my roster. I'm pretty sure I'm doing that, so
Oh, Lord.
Scott might need to redo his roster now.
I really might change my team now, and I'm not joking.
Jeez.
I had this deep conversation with Gary. Like,
Less than a week away.
wow. Read the skill packets, folks.
Multiple times, sometimes. And talk to other people about them.
Okay. Well, what's unique about this tournament is they have their own kickoff table, which is not that unique, really. I mean, it's different.
Right.
But they're keeping track of fan factor.
I really like this. I even went out of my way to tell John I liked it.
Did you know are you looking at it now where you
Yeah.
can tell people
Let me
how
read
to...
it. So, fan factor. Over the course of the tournament, certain events will increase your team's fan factor permanently for the duration of the tournament. Your team's fan factor will be used for tiebreakers in the tournament standings and an award will be given to the team with the highest total fan factor at the end of the tournament. Your team's fan factor will increase by 1 each time one of the following events occurs. Your team scores a touchdown. Your team causes a casualty via foul, secret weapon, stab, or crowd push. And your team wins or draws a match.
Interesting.
It really is.
Yes.
I like it.
And you can have fan favorite on one of your guys.
Yeah, which, I mean...
And you can start with fan factor up to 8.
Yeah. So really, this sounds like a Goblin team's going to win.
Well, they're going to win the
Fan favorite award. Sure.
Right.
That's what it sounds like to me, so I'm not worried about it.
What I was going to tell you, like, several times before we recorded tonight, because I wanted to talk about this, is
Yeah.
like, I'm really torn on, like, do I just build my team? Or do I play into this kickoff table that could result in, like, some of the things in the kickoff table are very kind of normal, but there is a few of them where, like, if you win the roll, you could hand your guy a chainsaw for the duration of until there's a touchdown or end of half.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things that can kind of crazy stuff that can happen, and I don't know if I want to play into this or not, because it would be difficult to think like a Wood Elf team have 0 fan factor. In first round, you play like my team's built with 7 fan factor.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good chance that, like, by rolling the dice, I can double you up. And then when it comes
Easily.
to those kickoff results, maybe it's pretty game changing and swingy. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what to do is what I'm saying. Like, there's a segment where I go, oh, I'm going to get rid of tackle on this guy and put fan favorite, and I'm going to cut this player and have 7 fan factor. And then there's other times where I'm like, no, reroll's more important. I'm going to go with that third reroll instead.
So this comes down to one of the main issues that, kind of gets brought up, but we've never directly addressed, I don't think. When tournaments have odd rules like this, the kickoff table, it is possibly game changing, or hell, any of the tournaments I usually run.
Well, it's even more game changing now that I find out you can stack skills with 2 players, right?
But then, do you build based off the team that you want to play, or the team you're good with, or do you build off of
the tournament?
The tournament, yeah. And that's a really good question, and not something we've ever brought up before.
No, it's really difficult.
Yeah. And I think it just depends on the tournament. So for this one, do you want to go through the kickoff table?
Yeah, I'll go through it really quick. Some of these are kind of long. They don't need to be long, but they're trying to really make sure they're thorough.
Oh, you have to be thorough when you're playing against me and Dean.
Kickoff table, if you roll a 2, hold them back. To contain the crowd, stadium security puts up barriers between the action on the field and the bleachers. For the rest of the game, if a player, unless thrown by a teammate or bouncing ball, would cross the sideline or inline, it stops in the square adjacent to the boundary. If it's a bouncing ball in the same square as a player, scattered again until...
So basically, you can't be pushed out of bounds. Same as Alcorn
that's
Cup.
basically what it is. Number 3, smuggled weapon. Each coach rolls a d6 and adds their fame. The winning coach, or both in this case of a tie, chooses a player on the team in either the chainsaw plus secret weapon skills or the stab skill. The player or players gain the skills for the rest of the game.
Yeah. And again, so this is again one of those things, but it is a D6. So even if you had fan favorite and +2, you could still lose it.
You could.
So I mean, obviously, odds are better.
Kind of swings you. Number 4, clear the path. The receiving team chooses one player to make a blitz action before the ball comes down.
Yeah.
The player gains the horns, frenzy, and no hand skills until the end of the next turn.
So it doesn't have anything to do with fan factor.
No, that one doesn't.
And you can't score with it. So
number 5, quick snap, just like the rule book. Additionally, if this result is chosen, being dueling crowd chants, the kicking coach rolls a d6 and d8 again. So there's something that comes
it's on 7.
Number 6, bounty gate. If this is a result chosen via dueling crowd chants, the receiving team gains 1 a team reroll or 1 bribe. Otherwise, each coach rolls a d3 and adds their fame. and the number of assistant coaches on their team. The coach with the higher roll, or if both tied, gains a bribe.
Yeah, so again, it's a bribe. It's not that huge.
But it is because every time you foul
Yeah.
and create a casualty,
I'm
your fame goes up. Your
not
fame
disagreeing.
factor.
I'm just saying, in the greater terms of decision making.
I don't think the kickoff table's overpowerful. I don't want
No.
to seem that way, but I
No,
sure
I'm
would
just
hate to
I'm
get
just trying to
boned.
say we go through these to see if it matters to play to the fan factor.
Okay. Number 7, dueling crowd chants. Each coach rolls a D3 and adds their fame to the roll. If the kicking team's result was higher, the kicking team's coach may choose to modify the kickoff roll result by adding up to their fame modifier and applying the result on the table. If the receiving team's result was higher, the receiving team coach may choose to modify the kickoff roll result by subtracting up to their fame modifier and applying the result on this table.
Yeah, so that explains the other ones.
If the result is tie or the coach with the higher result does not choose to modify the result, make a new roll on the weather table and apply the results.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Number 8, distracting cheerleaders. If this result goes into that again. Otherwise, each coach rolls D3 and adds their fame and the number of cheerleaders on their team. The coach with the higher reroll gains a reroll.
Yeah.
Not
So-
huge.
No, not at all.
Number 9, perfect defense, just like the rule book. Additionally, if this is the result chosen by a dueling crowd chants, the kicking team rolls the D6 and D8 again. The player may choose to apply the results as if they had the kick skill as the second scatter before rearranging their team.
Yeah, so not a big deal.
Number 10, crowd noise. For the next turn, players on the receiving team that declare an action other than a block must roll a D6. If the result is 1, the player hesitates and his MA is reduced to 1 for this action.
Okay, nothing to do with fan factor.
No, that's
Yeah,
it's pretty annoying.
It is annoying, but nothing to do with fan factor.
No. 11, crowd-fueled frenzy. For the remainder of the drive, each team's fame is added to armor rolls during their foul action. Additionally, each team's fame is added to any argue the call rolls until the next roll on this table.
Yeah, that one is a big deal because you get +2 there. It can be pretty bad.
I broke your armor. Now I'm going to +2 to it.
And, not going to get called out because I rolled a 4.
+2 this,
Yeah.
yeah. 12, we can't hold them any longer. The crowd's frenzy.
Did we do 11?
That was 11.
What was 10?
Crowd noise. That's the one where they had to roll the 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
That's all right. 12, we can't hold them any longer. The crowd's frenzy compels them to encroach on the field to get close to the action. All squares adjacent to the sideline counts as out of bounds for the rest of the game. Any subsequent rolls 2 or 12 on this table for the remainder of the game are treated as pitch invasion.
Sure.
So the
Okay.
the field gets smaller.
And pitch invasion matters for the fame as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the odds of that are low, and the odds of 11 pretty low usually.
You don't think it's a big deal?
I think it's a big deal. Do I think it's big enough to change what you're doing to go for that?
Like not having the 12th player so you can have 5 fan factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's that big a deal.
Okay.
It could be. And, you play 4 games. One of them could happen that way, sure. But I don't think it's enough to really go out of your way and change what you're doing. That being said, if you want to play to the theme of the tournament,
You could.
you absolutely do that.
All
And it just depends on which way you want to go.
Fair enough.
Now, if I had...
That's where I struggle. I
Yeah.
don't know which way to go with this team I currently built because I thought I couldn't double up skills, and now you're just telling me I can. So this is subject to change.
This is a tournament that if I had my painted goblin team, I would probably take them to this.
Okay.
Or if I could stomach playing a halfling team.
You can't do that.
Honestly, if I had a painted halfling team, I might take them.
You don't have a painted halfling team anymore?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I gave that one that we had away at Oklahoma Bowl.
Oh, that's right. You did. So what are you taking? What's your build?
I am taking my elves again.
All right. Your tryout squad of boringness.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's Eldril, 2 blitzers, both with dodge, 2 catchers, one with block and dodge, a thrower with leader, a bunch of linemen, one with fan favorite, I am taking it, and then 1 reroll. So it's pretty much as close to my World Cup build as I can get.
Wow.
And I would like to win more than 1 game to make me feel better going into the World Cup.
How many players you having? Is this only 11 again?
I have 12.
Okay.
I have to have 12 because of
Okay.
the star.
And you got your rerolls right this time.
Mm-hmm. Sure do. I
It
have
all adds up correctly. You can't mess up.
I have everything right. I am missing out on 10,000 because I'm taking a double. Well, I'm not taking a double, but the way that the tournament is set up, I'm taking 7 singles, so
Right. You
I'm
just miss
losing.
out on 10K.
Yeah.
Right.
which I'm fine with.
Sure. Okay. No fan factor? You're just going with the fan favorite?
Just going with fan favorite.
Okay.
No, I mean I'm just testing out the tournament team. I mean the World Cup team. So
Okay. That's good.
yeah.
I feel like I'm copying Tim Lyons, and I kind of am, but I'm not, because
Okay.
I've always wanted to do this. I just never have done it yet. At Three Dot Brawl, he played an orc team with goblins, and I've always wanted to do the same thing. You know, the trolls.
Like 4 goblins or
I think he played 3. I could be wrong on that. I think he played 3, but I've always wanted to play the blitzers, the blockers, goblins, and troll, because that's the closest we can get to the Green Destroyers team from Dungeon Bowl.
okay.
In Dungeon Bowl, there was an all-green
Yeah.
team, and their main race was orcs, their second race was goblins, and then their third race was the trolls. So they were like 2 trolls, goblins, and orcs.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to play that team.
Are you taking Ripper?
I am not taking Ripper.
You get your 2 trolls in.
I could, but it's hard to get anything in as is. I mean,
As you're taking 7 fan factor.
well, yeah, I could not take 7 fan factor, but
So,
I'd had
let's just go with what you got.
okay, 4 blitzers, 4 blockers, 4 goblins, 1 troll. 1 orc blitzer has tackle, 1 has frenzy. 3 of the black orc blockers have block. 1 has guard. The troll currently has leader. I have 2 rerolls, 7 fan factor.
A troll with leader.
Well,
That's weird.
I originally had 3 rerolls and only a fan factor of 1.
Yeah. No, I'm not
And then I've
disagreeing
been
with the idea.
thinking, the troll had guard before.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, well, I could sacrifice this for that. And then I'm thinking, like, what if I did fan factor instead for leader? But
It's interesting. I like it.
I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. And I struggle.
So obviously this is the Green Destroyers team.
Oh, it's even named the Green Destroyers. Because back when I played, we started our league over and played some 3rd edition after we played some Dungeon Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted teams, and of course we drafted existing teams,
Sure.
you know, for the names and
Yeah.
all that. And one of my teams was the Green Destroyers. And
Okay.
I ran them like a Blood Bowl team, you know, back then. So they were a mixed race green team or whatever. And so I wanted to capture that, and so that's what I did. This is
Okay.
not my Oklahoma Ginger Badgers. This is the Green Destroyers. And that's why I wanted to really maximize the 4 goblins on it. And not
I
just do
think
one.
you should take 2 trolls.
You think I should take 2 trolls?
Ripper and
Ripper
a
is
troll.
what, like 300, right?
Ripper's a lot. He's a lot.
Thanks, bud. So
But
you're saying
he's really fun.
is he?
Just drop a couple bobs down.
Couple rerolls and a couple bobs,
Yeah.
and just have a Ripper, and just go with 11 guys and just go with it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's bad enough I have to play orcs.
Oh, it's Ripper.
I find the orcs, like, I don't hate them, but then you say, why don't you play orcs at this tournament? And then I go, oh, I hate them.
Yeah. I think it's you and I are both on the same page. I think it's just because they came in the box set that they're the basic teams. We don't care. I don't care about humans. I don't care about orcs.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
I mean, I can try to make them fun,
Yeah.
but I think also it's like their skill selection, you know, to feel like you're doing the right thing is pretty boring.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some block. I'm going to take some guard. I'm done.
Fair enough. So now that you know you can stack skills, what does that make you want to play?
So I'm still trying to complete the 48 or whatever you want to say.
Sure.
The 52 or whatever. Play every team twice.
Yeah.
I was going to originally play High Elves because Dustin Parsons painted my High Elves, and I thought, oh, this would be a great tournament to play them in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, like, oh, I can't double stack skills. And to me, High Elves and Elf Union, and even Wood Elves, and even Dark Elves, your team lives and dies by the blitzers.
Yeah.
And if I can't stack 2 skills on those High Elf blitzers, then it's just I got block and dodge, or I got block and tackle.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than having block, dodge, sidestep, or block, dodge, tackle, or something. So
well, just block and dodge is pretty damn good.
So therefore, I will probably mess around tomorrow with some rosters of High Elves, but it's not gonna be like something totally different than that. I'm down to like 6 races, I think, that I have left to play everything twice. So I'm really trying to knock these off. But if I go with Orcs, I got to play them at some point, and I don't know what other time I'll play them anyways. So
I have an idea about maybe changing my team for Matador, but I'm probably not going to.
What does it do?
So let's go to the Chaos Cup. What are we going to play there?
Oh, you don't even want to talk about it.
Well, it ties into what I'm playing at Chaos Cup.
Oh, okay. Chaos Cup paid the other night, so I'm ready to go. I decided that I'm going to replay the Bretonian team that I played last year.
Nice.
It's been a year since I played that team, but I thought I did fairly well. I kind of enjoyed them. I played 6 games with them where I didn't even question oh, maybe I should have took this skill instead of this skill. So I'm just sticking to what I have there. I'm playing exactly the same roster as I
Which
did
is
last
what?
year.
Just run it down.
So it's 4 knights, 4 yeomen, and then the rest are peasants. So I think the numbers are off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I have
7,
13
8,
characters.
9, 10,
13 players.
Okay.
So that means 5 peasants. 4 knights, 4 yeomen, 5 peasants. And I have 1 reroll and 1 assistant coach. I have for one of the knights, I have dodge and leader. For one of the knights, I have frenzy. For another knight, I have sure hands. And then for the other knight, I have dodge. So I have, those are my equivalent of blitzers because they all have block and dauntless. And then I have 2 yeomen, and the yeomans all have wrestle. I say that because I forget sometimes what they have.
Yeah.
And 2 of those guys have guard. So that's my team. It's kind of hard to play with 1 reroll, and I know I could probably drop some stuff and figure it out to have 2 rerolls, but leader and reroll, if you really can stay focused.
Yeah. It makes you focus.
It kind of, almost forces you to.
Yeah.
So that's my team that I plan on taking up to Chaos Cup again. Give it a shot. Do I think I'm going to improve on the 3 wins, 2 ties, and a loss? Probably not. But at the same time, I was close in a lot of games. I mean,
so I
think I had 2 ties. Maybe it was 2 losses.
Current thought on Chaos Cup, and this might change if I change what I do at Matador. The 8 Realms Skull Takers. Corn.
Corn? Corn. I thought of Corn. Corn's a race I need to play. I thought about them for
And when
Lubbock.
I thought about it, because I'm like, I don't want to play elves at Chaos Cup. I need a break. It's Chaos Cup. But if I'm
wow, you're going against it.
If I'm going to fly in, I don't know if I want to take my really nice painted corn team.
You don't want to get off that plane, open up your box, and go, oh no.
Yeah. So that got me thinking.
You can smuggle them in your butt.
Well, this is one of the last 2 teams I need to play. The other one's Bretonians. I could take Bretonians to Matador, or I could switch it, take Bretonians to Chaos Cup because they're much smaller and easier to travel, and then I can take the Corn to Matador. but I haven't decided yet. But I think this is what I'm going with. It all depends.
Have you paid for Chaos Cup?
So no, I need to.
Wow, I'm more paid than you.
I know.
I've even sent in the roster and everything.
I suck. So I'm going with a Bloodthirster, obviously. 2 Heralds, 4 Demons, 3 Pit Fighters, 2 Rerolls. The Bloodthirster would have Pro and Mighty Blow. The 2 Heralds would have Block and Mighty Blow. And a Pit Fighter would have Leader.
So you're just going to cause shit.
Oh, I'm just going to cause shit. Just
You might need...
straight up cause, no thinking, just bash, bash, bash.
Okay. Maybe you need that. Maybe you should get this out of your way at Lubbock first, so you can refocus for Chaos Cup.
I don't know.
If you're going all the way to Chaos Cup for 6 games...
Yeah, but they're really pretty. I could show them off at Chaos Cup.
That's true. They are a nice looking team.
I guess it depends on if you drive or you fly. Because if you drive, I can give them to you and you can drive up there with them.
Right.
If I fly, then...
I'm glad I'm going to be your pack mule.
Yeah, absolutely. That and all the weed. Come on.
Well, right. Well, of course, the weed. That's why we can't have room for all your teams.
Yeah. I guess I could drive up with you and then fly back. Or, I don't know.
You could. Or we're going to put all that weed.
That's true.
Put it in your butt.
Yeah, we already got it clothed to make it look like me.
Yeah.
Just weed,
We have a weed doll.
Weed Steve.
Weed Steve. God, this is that in a movie?
No.
It needs to be in a movie.
Could be.
Wow. We don't even smoke pot, and this is a great premise for like...
Just think how funny we'd be if we did.
We'd be pretty cool.
We would.
I'd probably be a lot more calmer about stuff.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't overthink like these rosters either.
No, man.
That was the beauty about the Chaos Cup is
Yeah.
like, I'll just play Bretonians again.
Yeah.
I need to anyways, and I don't have to think because I was pretty happy with my roster last time.
And another thing, when you say you're taking Bretonians to Chaos Cup, I could just crib that and copy the exact same roster and take them, and we could see how we do against each other.
Oh, that's true.
So that'd be kind of neat, too.
That is kind of neat. Every now and then I like doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Except
We haven't done that in ages.
Yeah. The exact same team.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, you would think I would know. Since,
Well, see, my team, if you just use the same name, also has a boat down name. The Bastion Dragon Slayers. BD.
Oh, nice.
I did that with my corn team and my boat.
I could go with the
Brits.
biggest dongus.
The biggest dongus?
Yeah, biggest dongus. BIGGUS.
I don't get this joke.
Well, it's just BD.
No. I really thought about one point, fluff wise, like coming up with really cool fluff names that all were started with B and D, so we'd be both down.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go. But then I thought that's lame and not as fun as the other stuff I've already created. So screw this.
Makes sense.
Chaos Cup though rules. Since we're talking Chaos Cup,
Oh yeah.
the Cup is playing this year. So if you're not familiar, in the fluff, Chaos Cup used to be called the White Skull Challenge. White Skull Challenge Cup?
White Skull Cup Challenge? Yeah. White Skull Cup Challenge.
White Skull Cup Challenge. And in some of the little blurbs and stuff of Chaos Cup, there's been instances where the cup has come to life because it's its own magical thing, and it's played for teams and interfered in matches and stuff like that. So Jeffro has decided to use this as an opportunity for, we've had all the Chaos Gods, we've had, like this year is sponsored by Vampires and Chaos Dwarves. So
and we've
this
always
is the year
done
of the cup.
And we've always done round 6. You get a couple of mutations to add to your team.
Right.
So this year we have the Chaos round again before round 6, but after you know who you're playing, you may award 2 mutations to your team, just like always. So the player has to be a lineman, blah, 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 as always. Mark it, as always. If your team's Chaos, Chaos Pack, Nurgle, Underworld, or Khorne, you're an exception to the lineman only. You can award it to anybody. So that's pretty awesome. In addition, everyone will get a chance to play with the White Skull Cup as a player on their team. Other star player duplicates are forbidden, but the cup wants to play for everyone all at the same time. White Skull Cup stats are as follows: 3, 3, 3, 10. Loner, Wild Animal, No Hands, Foul Appearance, Disturbing Presence, Sprint, Tentacles, and Hypnogaze.
It's pretty cool.
It's something. I hate it.
You hate it?
I don't.
Why do you hate it? It's okay if you hate it. There's a lot of things that we hate at tournaments.
Yeah.
And then we play and go, oh, it's not so bad.
Well, I would like this to be for everybody but the top table. And
I see
that's
what
my
you're
issue, because it's really cool, but when everybody has it, is Loner going to matter? Whatever. Is Wild Animal? No, because it just means it's harder to move. Got it. No Hands, it can't score. Great. Foul Appearance, if I hit it, whatever. Sprint, whatever. Tentacles, it's got 3 strength. Not really a huge deal. Hypnogaze, that kind of is a big deal. The Disturbing Presence, though, that's a big deal. When there's 2 of those, that can really mess up a team, because it affects catches and handoffs and all that, and it's not technically
I'm not
game breaking.
I'm not saying I disagree with you, just because.
Yeah.
But in the top table, always add the mutations too.
Yeah.
It has been in the past. So
yeah, I get it. And also, it's just on your team. We don't have to play with it, so it can just sit there in the bench.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah. I don't know. And again, I don't hate it. I love the idea of putting it out there. I love going with the fluff.
Truthfully, what I would have done, and it's not up to me because I don't run Chaos Cup, I think this would have been more unique if we wouldn't have had the 2 mutations and just had the cup.
Yeah.
That's what that's me, but it doesn't mean it's right.
But again, I'm also the type of guy that I think that majors shouldn't have any funky rules at all, period. Every major should have all the same rules. And there should be no...
You think all 4 of them should be the same and straightforward?
Well, all 5 or however many.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We've talked about this before. And you've said that consistently over the time. That way you say that
it's a major.
Every major. Real sample size of like, yes, in this format, undead is really powerful or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And if that hurts a team or 2, whatever, that's just how the game goes. I don't know. It's just me.
I understand.
But I think it's cool. We do get a model, so that's awesome.
We do get a model. Do you know who's making the model?
I think Tom is. Impact.
Well, Impact's not going to be there this year.
Yeah, but I thought he made them.
Okay. He might have. I just don't know.
Okay. Yeah, Impact's not going to be there this year since he's going to World Cup, apparently.
And since you're hearing this now, if you want both down stuff, you better contact Steve, because there is a chance that he's flying, and there could be a chance that me and Jen fly.
Yeah. So I'm happy to bring stuff to it.
I would say I'm more leaning towards driving today, but there is a chance.
Yeah.
Because of work schedules and everything else.
I mean, I also could just ship to the venue. It's not a big deal.
Phil Boner, I'm volunteering you that if we fly, that we ship stuff to you, and you be the holder of the both down stuff. And for your good deeds, Steve will give you 3 nude hugs.
Only 3?
Only 3.
Okay. Now I can just ship into the venue. They don't care.
Oh, to the hotel?
Yeah. They do that all the time.
The hotel thing is all kind of weird. But I don't want to... I want to wait till I'm there before I say how I feel.
Yeah.
It's just different. I think we got so used to the Palatine
absolutely
hotel
we did. Yeah.
That we kind of got spoiled.
Yeah, we had our own routine that we wanted to do, and places we like to go.
We definitely had our own routine.
Same Asian place all the time, same ice cream all the time.
Well, I knew where like places were if I needed something.
Yeah.
Because I just got so used to that area.
Yeah, liquor stores, Walmart, we're around everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a different thing.
So we'll see how it is this year. And
Jeffro, I'm not hating on the idea of playing with the cup. It's just I just don't like things that could harm teams, that changes their play styles some. And that's what Disturbing Presence does. I don't know.
It does. Is it any worse than Foul Appearance?
Well, foul appearance is only if you hit the thing.
That's
The
true.
thing has 3 movement.
Steve's worried he's going to get to the finals with his corn
No.
team, and he's going to have to make a crucial handoff, and that disturbing presence
Do you
is
know?
going to...
Do you know how amazingly pissed off and ecstatic I'd be if that happened?
All I had to do was walk it in. All I had to do was make one roll. He put his cup within 2 squares, and I roll a 2.
I would be
A damn 2.
insanely pissed. But the fact that I got second at Chaos Cup would just be insane.
And what made it worse is like I
With
didn't
corn.
get that. And so my turn 8 ended, and then his cup picked it up.
No hands.
Oh, that's right. No hands. Never mind.
So there's that.
His cup ran into the tackle zone where the ball was, and it bounced out into the hands of somebody else who
Yep.
picked it up on a 6, dodged away from my cup with tentacles,
Yep.
and then threw a long bomb in the ring. And I got beat 1-0 by Brian 2 once again.
I would care, but I would also not care at all.
You'd finally get a trophy at
I have
Chaos
not
Cup.
gotten any trophy at all. I haven't got a legacy team. Even everyone who goes with us gets one.
If you haven't signed up for Chaos Cup, sign up now. There's still some time. It has an awesome coin,
Yeah.
which I don't do anything with these coins, but since Johnny started the coins, I won all the coins for Chaos Cup. Isn't that weird?
We should do a coin for Oklahoma Bowl 10.
Well, we did a coin before.
Yeah. Didn't we do it for 5?
Was it really that long ago?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. Our coin's pretty badass too.
The coin's awesome. They're so expensive to do,
They're really expensive to do.
but they are awesome. And they serve no purpose.
No, the idea is obviously like you do a coin flip.
Yeah.
But then nobody wants to do it because if you're clumsy and you can't catch that thing and it hits one of your miniatures and chips them or breaks them.
If I take my corn team and someone smashes a coin on top of my big guy,
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to be happy. Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to start doing it.
That's why
I'll go outside.
That's why our kickoff die is so awesome.
It sure is. It is one of the greatest inventions ever.
And yet no one knows about it. No one uses it.
I don't understand that.
People set in their ways.
That's okay.
It'll take the world by storm eventually.
Maybe. If not, it's still unique for us. So.
I mean,
Any oth-
we get copied everywhere else. Might as well get copied by that.
Any other thoughts to this Lubbock tournament or Chaos Cup?
Just looking forward to getting away. It's gonna be fun.
I am too, but I just recently I just looked up like how far Lubbock is, and it's not like I knew it's farther than going to Dallas, which is a 3-hour trip, and so I'm thinking 4 hours, and then it's like no, it's really like 6 hours. So this is the equivalent of going to Austin,
Yep.
Texas, but it's Lubbock.
Yeah.
So
And no offense to Lubbock, but you're not Austin. I've never been to Lubbock, so I'm kind of excited. I've never really, as an adult, gone that direction.
right. Well, me neither.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've gone through Amarillo, but I haven't gone straight out to Amarillo and then straight south.
I do know that we can get to Amarillo by morning, at least according to Johnny Millsap.
Oh, is that right?
Or is it Eddie Rabbit?
The only thing I'm going to suggest to the people in Lubbock now, before we ever get there, is their tournament is set up where we play one game, we have lunch, then we play 3 games.
I knew you were going to mention that.
That is going to feel like hell.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a late lunch at 3 o'clock and come back and play 2 games than...
Yeah, but it's not even that late.
Well,
But yes, it feels better
you get what I'm saying.
2 by 2.
Yeah. This is like work. I mean, if you're losing, the last thing you want to do is... I guess if you're losing, you've only lost 1 game when you come back to play 3, but still.
Yeah.
Could potentially feel like a long night.
Speaking of a long night, we ready to wrap this up and go to shoutouts?
Let's do it, buddy.
It's time for...
Shout-outs.
That's not bad.
Shout-outs.
Shoutouts presented by Shouting Out.
Shouting out.
I don't know. So we want to start with the contest winner?
Yes.
We did have people send in submissions of their fluff for their teams and what they loved, and
Yeah, they weren't terrible.
no, Scott was pretty much just on his own account.
Yeah, if you want to blame anybody,
yeah,
you can blame me.
it's all his choice.
I'm going to, as long as I remember, post this on the show notes at bothdown.com and have a link to this file. The winner of the contest is John Homer. He sent in a team called the Grimwood Gravediggers. Grimwood is a location kind of in the Sylvania area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Grimwood Forest and all this stuff. I even have a team on Fumble that was called Grimwood, and I can't remember the mascot, but whatever. It was a necromantic team. So, yeah, I kind of feel you. He used NFL numbers, which was kind of interesting, you know.
Which is something you like to do.
I do, but I don't. Like, I'd like to do it more, but really the way to do it Blood Bowl wise is
You've fallen out of the habit, but yeah,
Right.
you would prefer to.
I will do it again because those little Slater numbers are expensive and you got to use all your numbers sometimes.
I've got 5 7s. I might as well figure out something to do with them.
Right. And when you have a team like the Bador Blackhearts that have, 58 to 70 miniatures for one team, you got to do something. The Grimwood Gravediggers, just to sum up, they're a bunch of grave digging humans who, what better way to, entice people to die so you can dig up and cash in, like the things that they're buried with or sell their parts or whatever.
Yeah.
Than to play some Blood Bowl and do it the old fashioned way. Work hard for them. It's just a human team. He
made a nice spreadsheet.
His presentation's really good.
Yeah, it basically looks like a page out of the old rule book.
Second edition, John probably knew like this would really get Scott. There's a few names that like maybe I wouldn't have kept, but they're all named. They're all unique names. They're very Blood Bowl-y. He even did the number, the name, the position. And like if you're familiar with the second edition Star Players, like the rosters in this Star Player book, they even have the experience. So some players are Star Player, rookie, veteran, experience. And I thought that was very neat. And hats off to John on this team. So we will
Shirts
post
off
this.
to John.
Shirts off to John, or shirts on to John. So John, if you're listening, which you must because we're amazing.
Oh, it's John.
We're not like drunk hobbits or anything. So no bells, whistles here, just pure.
God. I want to call them the half dozen half drunk halflings.
Half dozen. There is a bunch of them. Anyways, John, send Steve your address, and when he gets some time, he'll send that out to you. And if you want to put in an order while you're doing it, you already got some free shipping, so there you go.
Scott shilling stuff.
There you go.
Wanted to give a shout out to Thomas Loyne of the Dragon Bowl League. He was nice enough. I sent him a ape figure, and he was nice enough to send us some pints and dice and scatter templates from his league.
I love my pint.
It's so cool.
I took it home, washed it, and then I put it in the trophy case. And then I thought, no, I like this. And so tonight, I had Dr. Pepper in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel bad that we don't have our own stein or our own pints that we made.
Well, your brother made some awesome pints back in the day.
And we thought we could get them whenever we wanted, and never did.
And Drew bought one, and every time we go to Drew's house, I drink out of the Both Down cup.
As you should.
We ought to actually look into that.
Yeah.
Because I think those are kind of cool, especially like the ones your brother did. They were real heavy, and they had a nice feel to them. It is a really kind of cool.
They're a pain in the butt to ship.
That's the big deal, isn't it?
It's not too bad. I mean, I can do it. Just got to put padding in, so.
Still, I mean, that might be not cost prohibitive. Some people might go like, I don't know if I want to pay $25 for a glass or something like that. But
we can figure it out.
It is something to do. I know some of the other like board gaming podcasts do those.
Yeah.
And I occasionally will buy one from them just because I think it's kind of neat.
Well, maybe we'll do something for episode 100. along those lines.
Oh.
It's getting close.
Well, you're not going to have a job soon, so I'm worried about all the...
I better have a job soon.
I'm worried about, like, all the cool stuff that we normally get. Like,
Oh.
if Steve doesn't have a job, I'm going to have to, like, get him a job at Whataburger or something so he can...
I better be getting a job at your place. Otherwise, I'm in a lot of trouble.
Well, that's up between you
I know.
and the recruiter.
HR is working on it. They said it should be no issue, so...
Nice. Any other shout-outs, bud?
Yeah, we got Johan Mata. He sent us a giant Fluff email. He messaged us on Facebook and was like, do you guys want me to send a giant Fluff email?
And we said, of course.
It's like, hell yeah, go ahead. Well, it's really long. I didn't know if you guys would care. I've already written it. I'm like, yeah, dude, come on. He's, well, you know, I don't have anyone to talk to about it, really. I'm like, that's why we're here. You know, we like to hear about stuff. If you enjoy the game and you want to share your Fluff, do so.
Of course.
You should always enjoy what you're doing.
For sure.
Yeah. And we have not gotten a chance to read it because it's really long.
I know. That's why I was kind of like, I saw the length of it and I was like, oh, I can't do this right now.
Like, okay, well, I'll put that off until I have some free time.
No, I like the Fluff stuff.
Yeah.
Remember the gentleman that sent the big, like, booklet full of stuff?
Oh,
played
yeah.
multiple seasons. I've been reading some of that stuff. I mean, it's taken a while, but I've been reading that at home. I kept it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get rid of it because it's really cool to see people pour their heart into their leagues. And I suggest this to everybody. You know, today somebody posted on Facebook, I dusted this off. I can't wait to play it. And it was a dungeon poll box. And clear as day, and I might have said this in the past, but I don't remember saying this. But clear as day on the box, there's this little circle. And it says a 3D, I think it says 3D role-playing game.
Okay. Sounds right.
And it just is like, yeah, even back then, you know, it wasn't crazy of me of thinking of this as a role-playing game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you struggle or if you're getting burnt out, maybe you just need to do something, inject something into it to make you care more.
Stop min-maxing. Stop worrying about the dice rolls. Just let it go.
Make a story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that's hard sometimes, especially if you're in a league where it's, you know, it's cut this guy no matter what because it's efficient. You know, you don't carry more halflings than you need because you need all the inducements for when you play. If you don't like that, don't do it.
This is when you need random skills.
This is when you need random skills, Steve.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, if they could do that and play test that with the current rule set, if they could come up with something better than what we got,
yeah,
I would love to hear it.
It'd be interesting.
It really would be nice. But I don't know. I feel bad for some people. Sometimes you hear them, and Blood Bowl is a frustrating game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's another reason more than anything to encourage something you really love about your team. Whether it's playing, I get to play the Green Destroyers from Dungeon Bowl or whatever.
Or if you just have a piece that you absolutely hate, like your Crocs of shit or my Bullerfurter, you know, they were horrible every time.
Are we telling people to keep playing with them because they were horrible?
Well, you do you, and whatever, but...
Your guy was so bad. Your guy might have been worse than my Croxicore.
Well, and then Bobo, you know, my two Orfeoners, I had one amazing Orfeoner, Yogi, and then I had Bobo, who was just falling over himself every chance he got.
Yeah, that was kind of his theme.
Like, I would refuse. I'm like, I'm not blitzing with him. He's just going to get both down.
Yeah.
And it would come to a point where I had to blitz with him, and then he would roll both down. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
We're going to give a shout out to our buddy Rob Ross. He enjoys the podcast, at least that's what he claims, and has been recommending this to his friends. Why doesn't everybody recommend this to their friends?
Everybody should. And you should go on Facebook and like us so we can get to 1,000 likes. We're at 931, I think.
931? That's pretty amazing.
We have more followers than likes, which I don't know how Facebook does that, but whatever.
Okay, I thought those were... I don't know either. I'm not even going to begin to understand.
Yeah, it's Facebook. Who knows?
Can you believe, like, we were probably excited at one point to get like 31 likes and then like 93 likes, and now we at 931 likes.
I mean, it's awesome. And like on Facebook, not Facebook, on Twitter, it's great to see all the people we have there, because we don't do like some people where they follow 70,000 people and they get 1,000 people to follow them.
Right.
But, you could easily go to Fiverr and spend $5 and get free followers.
Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I should do that. Start an Instagram account and be like a superstar.
Yeah, it kind of works that way, but it's sad. There are some Instagram accounts that I've seen. Really? That I guess apparently they have like millions of followers or whatever. Uh-huh. And the gal tried to sell a t-shirt and sold like 2 of them. Oh. Like, okay. There's just no interaction.
I'm following you because you're following me, and then I'm going to ignore you, or robots,
or you're just hot, and I'm just something like that.
Gotcha. Well, it's funny because every now and then at work, somebody will sit by me that's new, and they'll, hey, I'm Scott. We got to work together, so we might as well be nice, Mm-hmm. And I was sitting with this lady the other night, and she's like, I've never worked with you before. And then like she could not believe, like, what do you do? Because the podcast and everything got mentioned, and then it turned into like this, I don't know what the hell you do, but this sounds really cool that you do a podcast, like for this long.
Yeah.
And all this stuff, and you have friends in other countries, and people listen to you around the world. And I mean, like, her response made me feel like it was one of those days where it's like, oh, maybe I am kind of cool,
No, not really.
But still, like,
sort of, yeah.
It's just kind of neat to think absolutely. About the reach of everything.
Yeah, we don't really.
Like, sometimes you forget until you start to talk about it, and whether people really like us or not, or if they just use us because we're noise in the car as they drive to work.
That's fine.
It's still kind of neat.
Absolutely, it is.
So,
and we thank all of you for listening.
Of course.
And then finally, I have Matthew Pinnell, who was nice enough. He wanted the tracker that I mentioned last time, so I sent it to him, and he pissed me off because he sent it back and it was much better. Oh. He cleaned it all up and it just flowed a lot better, and I'm like, damn it. He's like, what? I'm like, this is much better. This makes me feel bad.
That's okay.
No, it's good. It's nice to have
teamwork.
It is. So it's a much better version. And
are we going to try to do those at Chaos Cup in Lubbock if we can remember?
Yeah. Okay. I can print off some and we can try it out.
Sounds great.
I like them.
I guess the final, like, I don't know when this is going to get posted, but it's not going to be long. So if you hear this in the first couple of days when this gets posted, we still have a couple of copies of Death Path. If anybody's interested out in Lubbock, or maybe up in Chaos Cup, if you want a copy of it, my store has a few copies remaining.
Cool.
That we can get and sell to you. I believe it's $30 for a copy. I don't know what the retail really is.
Right.
It's either 30 or 35, but get with us and I can get you that. It also comes with a free character pack. And if you're not familiar with Death Path, it's the game I was...
You did the art on.
I did the art on. That was contracted to do the art on. It's a game by the guys from Zlurpcast Studios. So get a hold of us if that's what you want to do.
Sure.
If you're in Lubbock, let us know really quick because we can hand deliver it to you and stuff. So
in Chaos Cup, you got some time. But
sure. I think that was the last shout out.
That's all I got.
Thoughts I had about that. So what you ready for Lizardman?
Oh, for the next one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that at all, did we?
No, I just remembered that.
Yeah. I mean, what, they'll be out next month? Who knows? I doubt it.
They might. What do you think?
I'm fine with them.
Okay.
I think they look nice. They're lizards. I like every Lizardman team. There's not been one I disliked. I don't buy into the fact that there's a new positional. No.
You still don't buy that?
No.
You just think there's an extra model?
Yeah.
That's different?
Yeah.
I think we might see a new positional.
Maybe, but I don't think so. They haven't given any positionals to anything else but stunty teams. And even in the email, it mentions Saurus and Skinks.
Okay.
It didn't mention chameleons or anything. And it was called a chameleon skink. So I don't see it being a position. We'll find out one way or the other.
And you really hate the team name that they gave for the box set.
It's growing on you, isn't it?
Yes.
The Guacamole Crater, whatever.
Here's the deal.
Guacamole.
It's the Guacamole Crater Gators. And at first, when I first saw you do that and you posted, I was thinking, ugh. And then I was like, wait a second. Very much so, a little like asteroid of like Warpstone or something could have hit Lustria, created this crater, and like the good or bad radiation could have just spawned like this healthy growth of vegetation in this area. Maybe really large guacamoles. And that's why it's called the Guacamole Crater.
Guacamole is not a plant. It's made out of avocados. It's a created dish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So
I should say the avocado plant grows.
No.
And it
No. I don't know why I'm the one sticking on the guns on this.
But
it's a horrible name.
Well, they're going for a funny rhyme, but it's not actually terrible.
What rhyme?
Crater Gator.
Okay. You don't need guacamole for that.
I'm just saying they spelled it in a different way.
Call it the Krakatoon Crater Gators.
I'm saying I don't hate it. If you told me you hate it, I totally get it. You know what I thought, though?
How do you not hate it? I don't get this.
This is the truth. When they put that on the set and you said, like, oh, this name's terrible, the first thing that popped into my mind was, why the hell didn't they use the New Cats of Saints?
That is funny. Yeah.
It's in the lore. And then I thought, no, it's not in the lore. It's in your lore, Scott. You've played with that Lizard Man team. You've created so much fluff for them. Mm-hmm. It's the old city that was ransacked by the Skaven, and now it's risen back up, and the players dust themselves with the ashes of the dead and all this stuff. I created so much fluff in my head. I was convinced that the New Cats of Saints was a real thing.
It should be. Now, one thing, though, is I don't think there's a whole lot of fluff for the Lizard Man teams, really.
There's really not that I know of.
So that is part of the problem. They had to come up with something new. The guacamole? That's horrible.
It's going to be interesting to see the Spike magazine where they come up with like 5 to 6 famous teams.
Yeah, and I get it. There's a lot of puns. There's, Kermit or what, I don't know, whatever. But this wasn't even close to being disguised. I mean, kind of was, but you sound it out and it's guacamole.
Yes.
Bite me. And I don't understand why you don't hate this. It kills me.
Because I think of this crater that grew all this
Site
vegetation.
B, Sorai. Site 4, Sorai, excuse me, makes sense.
No.
Guacamole Crater, you're okay with.
A lot better, yeah.
No. We're not going to make it to another episode. We're done.
We're not going to ever make it to episode 100 because we can't agree on anything.
Guacamole.
I know, but it's possible.
Anything's possible.
Not Sot for Sorai. That's terrible.
Oh, God.
All right.
Okay, we're done.
You're making my butthole sore, Steve.
No, we're not forcing that in.
You're going to...
Nope.
It's going to be fire.
Nope. Not forcing that in.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Listen at the end to hear what Scott wanted to force into the podcast.
It's going to be on fire.
Okay. Bye.
You can follow Both Down on Twitter at Both Down. You can follow Scott at Fat Finley, FATFINLEY, and Steve at Kilowog2814. If you want to know if your team name is Both Down approved, send a tweet to @BDapproved. If you'd like to email them, the email address is bothdownpodcasts@gmail.com. Or for more information, you can visit them at bothdown.com or at facebook.com/bothdown.
God's going to put a cancer in the butthole. God's going to put a cancer in the butthole of every sodomite. Every sodomite's butthole will get cancer in the butthole. It'll burn and burn and burn. They won't be able to sit down because of the burning in their butthole. He can't sit down. He's got a burning in his butthole. He's got a fire. He's got a flame coming out of his butthole. God's going to have a flame coming out of your butthole. You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole. If you thought that AIDS was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole. Your butthole will be flaming, and you will not be able to sit down until you have a flame coming out of your butthole. And there'll be people walking around all over America with flames coming out of their butthole. And everyone who takes it up the rear, everyone who has a penis injected in his butthole, when that penis comes out, the flame will start burning, because ain't nobody gonna stick no penis in that flame. That flame will be an eternal flame coming out of the butthole of every sodomite. Flame coming out of the butthole, flame coming out of your butt. That man pulls that penis out of you, a flame is going to come out, and nobody will ever stick a penis in your butthole again, because it will be on fire. You ain't seen nothing till you see the flame coming out of T.D. Jake's butt. Lightning bug got a flame coming out of his butt, and all flames shooting out of their behinds. You're going to see the power of God. Flame of fire is going to come out their butthole.